So, are you dealing with an undermining team member right now that is driving you crazy and making you look bad as a leader? Well, if that's the case, then you'll definitely want to watch this video because I'm going to be talking about 4 ways that you can cut that out and get it under wrap today. Hey there, friend, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new around here, well, my name is Mac and I'm a leadership coach, but I actually work specifically with first-time team managers and helping them to become effective leaders. And today, like I said, we're talking about undermining behaviors, which I know is so frustrating. In fact, before we get into it, I just want to say, just from me to you, I am so sorry that you're having to deal with this right now. I mean, management on its own is so taxing in the sense that, like, there's just a lot, right? It's a lot of responsibility to bear, and there's a lot on you as it is. And so I can only imagine how frustrating it is to have a team member that is literally going around you for all the things, you know. We have some accelerator students that have come into our program with this exact scenario, and some of them have been led to tears based on just like how frustrating it is. And so I want to let you know that, like, even though I haven't necessarily been through it myself, I mean, I had like a hint of it when I first started, within that like first 6 months period that I refer to all the time. I'll link that video for you here and in the description box below. But yeah, I had a hint of it, but not as much to say that I truly understand. But having worked with now a lot of students that have dealt with this, I can, like I said, I can only imagine just how rough it is for you. And so I just want to say, from me to you, I'm really sorry you're having to deal with this. And I hope that the tips that I talk about in today's video help to alleviate some of that frustration that you're dealing with, okay? Number 1, I want you to evaluate where this undermining behavior is coming from. If you've been following me for some time, then you already know that I am a huge advocate of dealing with root causes instead of symptoms. And to me, undermining behavior is simply a symptom. You know, it could be a symptom of ego. Perhaps this person believes as though they should be in the role instead of you. Maybe they believe that they're smarter than you, that they have more ideas than you. Maybe they believe that you don't listen to them and that somebody else will listen to them. Maybe they believe that a promotion is around the horizon and they want to be the one that is surfacing their ideas so that when a promotion arises, they can get the promotion. You know, I'm just spitballing a couple of ideas in terms of what it could be. I'm not saying that that is the case for you because I'd have to talk to you to figure out what that is. I'm just throwing out some ideas. But either way, I think fundamentally, no matter like what the flavor is of the undermining, I think that at the core, it is a lack of trust. You know, perhaps this person does not trust you and your intentions and that you have their best interests at heart. And so even though, like I said at the beginning of this video, that undermining behavior is incredibly frustrating and that I feel for you, I do want you to sit back and just pause for a moment and think about what might be causing this lack of trust that exists between you and the team member, which requires stripping back some of the emotion that you're feeling and frustration that you're feeling around the undermining, just to figure out what is causing, like I said, the lack of trust to exist and what is causing them to now go around you instead of working together with you. And I think that's the first place you need to start. Number 2, this undermining behavior is being reinforced somewhere. So I've said it on the channel before and I'll say it again. Whatever we do not address, we're essentially giving permission to. And so if you have not addressed the fact that this individual is literally undermining you, then you're basically giving permission to it, right? I know that you're not actually saying, hey, undermine me, but your silence is allowing it to happen. And so of course they're going to continue to do it. The other angle where some of this undermining behavior might get reinforced is through your direct manager. You know, maybe what's happening is that your direct manager is giving them a listening ear and reinforcing this undermining. I know for me, I was guilty of this. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got promoted into senior management, a couple of my managers had to like sit me down and tell me, hey, like, Mac, it is incredibly disrespectful to us when you allow team members to surface their concerns with you because we're dealing with it and then you come in and you do something different and it's just disrespectful. And they did tell me this and I clearly needed to hear it, right? Because I thought I was helping and I wasn't helping. And so I really appreciated them coming to me and just telling me, hey, Mac, like, what you doing? And so eventually what would happen when frontline, like after they surface this concern with me, when frontline would come to me, I would just be like, hey, did you get a chance to talk to your reporting manager about this or your supervisor about this? And it wasn't that I was trying to be disrespectful to that person. I actually wanted to dignify them and their ideas, because I don't know why, but they would always approach me when I was on the way to like the bathroom or on the way to a meeting where I obviously wouldn't remember what they said. And so I wanted to dignify them, and I wanted to dignify the managers that I had promoted and trust to lead them, right? So I wanted to dignify and show respect to them. And so that is why I respected the channels. It wasn't that like I'm necessarily this like huge hierarchy person. I do believe in flat. And at the same time, I recognize in order for things to get done properly, it has to go through appropriate channels. And so maybe what you can do is discuss this with your manager. If you realize that that's where it's being reinforced, then talk to your manager and say, hey, like, I understand that your intention is that you want to be helpful to this individual. Perhaps you want to be helpful to me, but here's how it's being received, and here's how I propose we do things a little bit differently. Number 3, what are the expectations? I know I bring this up so much, but I think this is like always the crux of so many issues. What are your expectations around where people should go if they need things? What are they? Because if you don't have any expectations, then you can't really blame the person for doing what they're doing, because perhaps you have not outlined where they should go should they need something. So if you need some help kind of surfacing and clarifying what your expectations are around the communication channels, then go to this video here. I'll link it here in the corner and in the description box below for you, so that you can follow through on that video and kind of hear my thoughts around how to set expectations. Perhaps it'll help you, because I've got some like prompt questions in that video that will help you to surface some of your expectations. Okay, number 4 is to be consistent. So once you set up these expectations and you're like super clear in terms of what the communication channels are, I want you to be consistent with it. So don't allow it once and twice and maybe say something here and not say something here. Like, once it happens, call them to account, hold them accountable to the expectations, okay? And do that consistently. And then as a bonus tip, because I know I said I was going to talk about 4 things, but I'm going to talk about 5 things. As a bonus tip, I think you need to view undermining as underperformance. I view it as a performance issue. If someone is undermining you, then that means that they are not operating as a team player. And if a team player is part of your expectations, or if being a team player is part of your expectations, then you need to view it as that. In fact, we have some accelerator students that have literally put team members on performance improvement plans for undermining, because they view it as a performance issue. And so I want to just put that like bug in your ear, that I think sometimes we think of performance issues as like tactical things, like missing deadlines, being late, all that stuff. But it's also like the way that you act. So if this person is undermining you and it does not align with your expectations of what a team player would do, then view it as an underperformance issue and put them on a performance improvement plan. All right, so that is pretty much it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on any other content that I share on this platform every single week. All right, my dear, thank you so much for being with me, and I will see you in the next one.